Hello, welcome back. Last time I finished up MX Vladi's entry over here, which I guess I didn't really take the time to give my thoughts on it, but now that I've had some distance from this, it honestly wasn't so bad. Like, I was expecting to have a super terrible time here. My expectations were roughly matched by And Then There Were None, especially in the very last room, but over here, this was mostly fine. I feel like since I got a little bit more experience with the game now, the puzzles didn't seem so unapproachable. So that was actually an okay time. So, Last Minute Shopping by Dragonfogel are finally in the top 3. Well, now we are. So this is in some ways perhaps the largest entry. This is going to take a very long time, but it's a great time throughout, as I recall. These other two will be a bit quicker. Yeah, so this LP is probably going to set some, well, it won't set a record for, like, longest LP, but it's going to be in the top 10 for sure, and is also running concurrently with another one that's probably going to land in the top 5 or something. By Fogel. Bithro was in a panic. It was Christmas Eve and he hadn't bought any gifts yet, and he wasn't about to wait in line with all the other last-minute shoppers. That's when he spotted a job posting, some old storage rooms that needed clearing out. The pay wasn't great, only 5,000 Grekels. A Grekel is roughly worth 1 USD, by the way, for whatever the current exchange rate is, so the value goes down over time. But the offer also said, any item of value you can retrieve is yours. Maybe some of that old junk would make good gifts. It was worth a shot, better than waiting in these stupid lines all night. Oh hey, there's an open storage box over there. Looks like it's got a mimic potion in it. You know, I think Half's old enough to play with a mimic. That'd make a good gift for him. But I'll have to take care of these monsters before I go. And a mimic potion could be real handy for that. Looks like I have some tough decisions to make here. So that dialogue kind of reveals the overall gimmick of this entire entry. So what we have here, let me just get all the rooms on the map real quick. Actually, no, there's a bunch of dialogue and stuff. So we can wait on that. Anyway, so the basic idea is every room is 2 rooms. There's a gift that you can opt to either collect or not, and there's a challenge for doing it each way, whether you take the potion or not. So I could take this mimic potion and use it to solve the puzzle and do one challenge, then not take it and do the challenge the other way. And you know, it's a grid of like a bunch of rooms. Is it 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so 12 rooms, so basically like 24 routes through rooms here. So that's why this is going to take a bit. Alright, so usually taking the gift is the easier route, probably not always. Just sort of depends on like what's going on. So the obvious place to put this mimic is here. And what did that do? Now hold on. You're telling me it's possible to do this without taking that potion? But this only opens with that. Wait. You're really telling me this is possible to do without taking that potion? Okay, I see. So you can use this to hit the seeding beacon when you're done to do it the other way around. Okay, well, I'm not doing it without the potion yet, but that immediately seems obviously impossible. By the way, obviously impossible is a phrase with a specific meaning, if you hadn't caught that. Anyway, okay, so with the mimic, there are now 2 of us. Is this the only entry into this place? Seems to be. Alright, so anyway, orbs. So I need to desynchronize in some way because that accomplishes nothing. I have to hit them at separate times. Oh, here's another entry. Okay, I didn't see this. Alright, so you would start here if you don't want to take the mimic. Got it. So this opens that, this opens that. So why would I not just do this? Maybe I would if I have the mimic, but I wouldn't. Okay, right, so another complication of having 2 rooms in one is there may be irrelevant mechanisms for the route that I'm on, so part of my parsing has to be, do I actually have to interact with this part of the room, like say the disarm token. You can use those to desynchronize mimics and Bithro, like I could totally hit one of these only. My name is Bithro.
My name is Bithro.
So, right, I cannot hit both of those. At least one of them. Looks like I have to avoid stepping on this. But then why are these even here? What? So I have to... What? I mean, it looks like... I mean, this is the one I care about. The Mimic can stay trapped there forever, but Beethro has to get out. This doesn't turn off. Those aren't going to turn off, and well, I mean, the trapdoors are gone anyway, and the thin ice is going to be gone. Okay, so something about bombs here. Bomb explosion danger. But I'm more worried about this right now. So this will close that. I mean, it's already closed because I stepped there. So, okay, so let's start with, it seems as though I don't want to step on this plate, right? This is on thin ice. Because if I stepped here, then Beethro has no way out. So both of those toggle with that. Anyway, there are things I can do with Disarm Token to desynchronize the Mimic from Beethro, I'm pretty sure. And that's how I would hit these orbs individually, but... I mean, I guess this is just a trap? Or maybe I do want to use... Why would you open that force arrow? I don't know. Let's not worry too much about that yet. I'll just avoid hitting this and figure out how to use these orbs separately. So if I disarm... okay, got it. So... Order of operations here. Beethro steps onto this tile without moving his sword because he's still armed. He then activates the token, which causes Beethro and the Mimic to be disarmed. Then the Mimic takes his turn. Since he's disarmed, he faces north and steps onto this tile, and then activates this token, giving Beethro his sword back, and the Mimic his sword back, and the Mimic faces us, the other direction. So we're going to face different directions, but I get a choice. I don't know which directions I want exactly, and that's probably going to end up being important. However, there are also Ormites, so it looks like I can desynchronize that way, and it also looks like there are no other mechanisms I need a sword for. Is what it seems like. That might not be true, though. So, do I want these bombs to explode? I don't see what that would ever gain me, so I guess just don't let them explode? Okay, well, I mean, I'd have to go out of my way to allow them to explode, wouldn't I? None of them reach any of those monsters. I mean, like, in theory, if this orb weren't here, I could wake the Evil Eye up and get him into a bomb explosion and blow him up that way. Like, I just don't see any good that it would do me to detonate these. So let's not worry about it. You will be activated by both of those. Before the room is clear, it's fine to step here, except it's not because of this. So don't step there. Alright, so this is just a no-step tile. Reasonable, I guess. This one is fine to hit, but it doesn't benefit me in any way. There's a trapdoor here. There are trapdoor gates, so I do want to drop these. And these will force a resynchronization of Beethro and the Mimic. So we'll end up with our swords facing the same way, actually as soon as either of us steps on the Ormites. Okay. So at some point somehow these monsters need to die. Does the Altlic need to help me with this orb? That's opened by that, which closes this and detonates that, so it's perfectly fine for Beethro to step here. I see how it is. So the reason this is an effective trap is because I have a Mimic, and it's hard to stop him from stepping there if Beethro wants to step here. Okay, so how do I desynchronize my Mimic with these elements in the room? I think the answer is that I want to blow up the Mimic. Oh. So that kind of makes sense. That's why I'd want the bombs to go off. Okay. Because, like... Yeah, so, well, for one thing, the water skipper would kill me. But for another thing, Yeah, I just, since these are exact copies of each other, there are more obstacles here, but there would need to be an additional obstacle here that doesn't exist in this one for me to get the Mimic off of me, or another tool to somehow make him move differently. I don't have such a tool. I have an Omtlik, though. Don't suppose his beam could hit that Mimic. It might be able to. If he faced the appropriate way, at the appropriate time... he's not going to do that, though. Yeah, Beathro can get beamed just fine, of course. But Beathro has to be a certain amount to the Omtlik's. I can do that for a turn. I just can't get the Mimic over to the Omtlik beam quickly enough that it's still facing southwest. Like, it's still northeast enough of Beathro to be facing southwest and getting the beam down there. Because once the Omtlik slides down there... yeah, there's nowhere Beathro can stand to make its beam face in that direction. I can slide it up and down, I guess, a little bit, which will do me no good. Does this turn off? No. This does, but... okay, so another thing about the Mimic, though, is I kind of do want him, because I'm going to need to stab this Omtlik at some point, right? And if I don't have the Mimic, I'm going to lose my sword here. So hang on, what do these do again? Stuff. Things I don't like. I mean, this is the main thing I don't want to happen. Okay. Well, okay, so there's another problem here I haven't really looked at. How do I kill the Evil Eye or the Water Skipper? I awaken the Evil Eye to get it out of the way and kill it elsewhere, which would mean... it would have to... so it's not necessarily impossible to get that Evil Eye to step on this pressure plate after awakening it, but I'm not sure it's possible, though. It looks kinda hard. Actually, it does look impossible to me from the way I'm looking at this. So this opened. And again, Beathro can totally step here. He could totally face east, step here, stab this, then turn and stab this, and be basically done with the room if I could just get the Mimic desynchronized. And from what I can see, the most reasonable way to do that seems... oh, wait a second, hold on, hold. Check it out, bombs can melt ice. Would that help with synchronization changes? So if a bomb melted some ice, then I could desynchronize the Mimic by, like, having him try to step here, while Beathro successfully steps here because this ice didn't melt. Then take that desynchronization forward. Beathro would, like, go all the way in here, bring the Mimic in, do stuff. That's plausible. So it's either melt ice with a bomb and have the Mimic try to step into the water, or find a way for the Omtlik beam to hit the Mimic to freeze it. Was there another trapdoor in this room initially? In this area, no. It's just this one. Okay. So let's play with some ice, since I accomplished nothing since I did that. Alright. So, short fuse here would kill the Mimic. Alright, I think this is the bomb I want to go off, though. That seems like a problem, though, because I can't create a fuse end without actually going all the way across this, can I? That hasn't created one. That has, but it's not. It's out of reach, and now I'm out of ice. And these all face this way. They don't turn off, so I don't think I can do what I wanted to do there. Yeah, none of these create fuse ends. Okay, well, I guess that's not happening then. Alright, fine. So that's not what I do. Then why is any of this stuff here? Is there anything else that explosions could do other than just kill the mimic? I don't think so. Okay, so I'm back to trying to get the Omplic to do it. But that looked fairly impossible last time I looked at it. Like, in order to get him to face this direction at all... I mean, like, I have to be ahead of him in the... Hold on, can I go in here? Well, no. I mean, I have unkilled monsters there. Alright. Oh, check it out. An Omplic could light a fuse. Could I use this hot tile to kill the Omplic somehow? Because I want the Mimic at the end to be armed, but if I could kill the Omplic with the hot tile, then I wouldn't have to be armed at the end of the room. So if I killed the Mimic right after dropping the trapdoor by having the Omplic light a fuse, which I could do like this... So there's a fuse end he could light, except no, because there's an obstacle there. Here's a fuse end he could light. No, I don't create a fuse end there. Well, but if this is gone, then okay, so here's a fuse end he could light. Alright. So Omplic face west. Oh, you lit that. Okay, that's, different, but fine. Alright, Mimic, get over... Ah! Get over there quickly. So that you can be dead. Great. Now Bethro, get away from there so you can be not dead. Stab this, kill that. Get past Omplic somehow. I didn't want to hit this, right? Right. So now I just have the problem that there's an Omplic and a bunch of Ormites in the way of doing what I want to do. But doesn't that solve like this? Yes. Oh, okay. So now I have the problem of this. Okay. And that seems like a very real problem. So, that's not the button I wanted. Which is the grid button? Not that one. Not that one. That one. There we go. Omplic can't look at that orb. Not that it would help if it did. Oh, wait. I do see something, though. If I could have had the Omplic look at the orbs, then I could maybe maintain different sword facings, which I can't. But if I could, then I could... get rid of that orb and die to the water skipper. No. I'm still just looking for ways to desync the Mimic. Only good way I seem to know is by killing it. Could the Mimic last a little bit longer and die later to, like, this explosion? Well, no, I need him not to die. Like, I'm just looking for a way to reflect this Omplic beam for a bit longer, to get the Mimic closer to where it can be in range of it, but that's not going to happen. There's nothing else reflective around. I mean, there's a Mimic sword, but that doesn't help me. It's way down here. And with the Mimic unkilled, doing this means I step here, and that's bad because of that. There's no reopening that. What's up with these orbs? Why are they here? I don't really get the point of these. There's nothing else a bomb can do to create asymmetry here. Like, I can't, like, press against an explosion and use it as an obstacle. There's nothing it can destroy that would be meaningful. There's just not much down here. The Mimic has less. I need something the Mimic has that B-Throw doesn't. And an Optic Beam still seems like the best candidate. But it also just seems like that's impossible. Okay, so let's look again at the idea of somehow leaving the Mimic behind when I do this. Could I do an initial desync? No, this is very specific. Why do these open up those arrows? This is interesting. But it doesn't mean anything. I mean, these mechanisms, near as I can tell, must be for the no Mimic pass through the room. Like, with the Mimic, I could retoggle those, but that means nothing. These don't have any different effects, doesn't matter which one I hit. So yeah, I just feel like there's something to do with the bombs that I'm not getting. Oh, check it out. Here's a space B-Throw could maybe step that the Mimic would not. Okay, so if I blow up this bomb, then B-Throw can step here. Mimic will bump against the bomb. There we go. That's what it is. That's how to use the bombs. Okay, so I don't want any of them to... I do want some of them to explode. I want this one to explode, but not that one. Okay, so if I just walk in here, wait a second, then they'll both go off. Okay, so I probably need the Omplic's help. So I create a fuse end somewhere. How did I do that before? Like this. Create a fuse end. Don't light that with my body. Have the Omplic light this, but not those if possible. Although, didn't... Dang it, not that button. This button. Didn't the Omplic light something when I released it before, though? Yeah, it looks straight at that. But I can avoid it. Check it out. I'll use my body. There we go. So you didn't light that. So now you'll light this. Get rid of those. This is in range of those, so I'll have to do this quickly-ish, which is perfectly reasonable. Safe from Omplic, not safe from bomb. I won't be stabbing the bomb because of Ormites. Mimic, please save yourself quickly. You didn't do it, but hold on, there was a... Yeah, there's a safe spot there, but nowhere closer. Okay. So... what if I take this instead of that? Sounds reasonable, right? I mean, no reason I had to take the north one. Alright, so use my body. Wait there. Mimic will move his beam off me. Light this. Get there. This is now safe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was standing too close. There we go. Okay, desynchronization. I did it. So now, with desynchronization, B-Throw then steps... carefully. I think I just want to move the Mimic a bit farther away. Okay, so now... it's this kind of puzzle. There we go. Mimic can be way the heck down there. Just be well out of the way. Okay. Okay. That looks fine, I think. Just be careful where you step. Resync, like, okay, is that the trick? Well, that's easily avoided. Sure. So now I just have to resynchronize you two. The Mimic now has an obstacle here that B-Throw does not have. I have some limited movement though, and that's not great. So I stepped on this, which opened that. Alright, so I have a synchronization problem with the Mimic. I think before I do this, it's probably a better idea to just... Yeah, I can just resynchronize at this point. And not worry about anything. There we go. Okay, I keep my sword, I stab the Ontlik, room is clear, and I can escape. Well, I got through the room, but I don't have a Mimic potion, or even a Mimic. I don't think I'm even going to have time to cook the poor kid at Roachburger. If only I could have another chance, maybe I'd do things differently. Guess what, Beethro, you can have another chance. Hey, there's a dagger, 4th place. Alright, let's do this the other way. Spear room, yes. Open storage box. Okay, so now let's do this without the Mimic. So I would enter here, and become disarmed. Have no power token. So now this is a disarmed room where there's a Mimic, and I'm trying to reach this token. Fascinating. That Ontlik is going to be a major pest. That's why these ortho squares are here, to force me to make that kind of step. I need to go very fast here to avoid getting beamed. Okay, so now this is Ontlik dodging while disarmed. Doesn't seem that demanding yet. That could change. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have him look at that, just in case I really need to... Oh... Well... Okay, so how do I get this far? Alright, so I need more distance. Can I do something after I've done that? Well, you haven't looked at that yet. Okay, so this is good. And I think now I can make it. Almost. What if I step here? I'll hide in your hidey hole, Ontlik. I can get here and still die. I can go here and make it, I think. There we go. Okay, so I break that, and since there's no consequence to stepping on this, problem is I can't actually do it, though. I needed the Ontlik to step there. Got it. Okay, so Ontlik has to step there. Perfectly reasonable. I think. This is one of the most cooperative monsters if you want to just move them around. They are nice to work with. Whoa, that's fine. You can do that. And you can do it to the other one too if you want. You will go west, right? Yes. Do I want you to crack this orb? Yep, probably. How else would I get it? Yes. Yes, that is necessary. So I need to be sure you look at that at some point. How about now? Cool. And I can just go in here and do this. Nice. Okay. So yeah, this is an example of a room that is perhaps easier if I don't take the gift and actually save it to give to someone. There we go. Now I can just wrap up that Mimic Potion when I'm done here. Half's gonna be so thrilled. I kinda wonder how things would have gone if I'd used the Mimic. But it's not like I can go back and try that again. I mean, canonically, Beethro knows about seeding beacons. I got a better score. There were fewer moves there. I did get challenges for both of those, right? I didn't... Yeah, it was Mimic Miser was the first one. What's this one? Is it here that I see these? Oh boy! Yep, that's a bunch of challenges. I think... Okay, so it's just Mimic Santa? Okay, so... Are there any challenges for things that are not this entry that I don't have? No. All remaining challenges in the hold are in this entry. Got it. Okay. And I guess I've given away what each gift is. Not that that's like a major spoiler or anything. Alright, cool. So yeah, this is a lovely entry. I had a great time with it when I played the first time, still having a great time now. There was one room that involved briars, like down here somewhere, where I could never figure out one of the two routes. I think I got all the other ones though, so I don't have too much worry about getting this done. Anyway, great. I'll see you next time for more last-minute shopping.